Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. This is all about what condition my condition is in. And if you don't know what that line is, well, it's an old song by a band called The First Edition called I Just Dropped In to See What Condition My Condition Was In. It was very sort of psychedelic 60s, except that the lead singer turned out to be anything but psychedelic and later became extremely well known as kind of one of the kings of country pop, Mr. Kenny Rogers. So, anyway, I'm sitting here and there's nobody in my room. I'll wait a couple minutes, see if anybody shows up. Could be that just nobody gives a hootie patoot anymore about what condition my condition is in. I've been off and on for the last couple months, so I kind of get that. Don't think there's a whole lot I can do about it unless some great health miracle comes. Somebody's lurking. I don't know who. I don't. I don't. Anyway, I'm just going to record it because nobody's going to come watch me anyway. I figure after 2 minutes, if nobody has showed up, ain't nobody gonna. Okay, so here's what's going on, people. I was hoping to pick back up Monday with my show, but I have to go back to the scene of the crime, so to speak, back to that ear, nose, and throat doctor in Blacksburg, the one that I was on my way home from when the wheel came off the car. So you might be guessing I'm not too excited about making that trip, but it's got to happen. So anyway, I have to go there on Monday. Hello, Archaeology Mikey. So I have to go back up there on Monday. And I don't know what's going to happen. So I can't really plan on doing a 5 o'clock show on Monday. So Monday is probably not going to happen as far as the Lodo coin collecting show. So I am now aiming for coming back on Wednesday at 6 with Sweeping the Dirt, which is actually my metal detecting show, but it's going to be whatever we want to talk about show. Hello, Demon Rat 71 Detecting. Good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome. Uh, so anyway, I'm planning on trying to get back in sync on Wednesday. Um, I do have a medical appointment then also, but it's a local deal. I don't have to do any 150 mile an hour, 150-mile round trip thing. So I think I can make Wednesday work. So I think we will be trying to get back on track on Wednesday. Um, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the packages, all but one from the loose wheel benefit have all been mailed and most of them have been received. One person was supposed to send me money by snail mail and that never arrived, so I still have that package. And I also have one that belongs to somebody that I don't have an address for. So hopefully I can resolve those issues. But other than that, everybody's stuff is out. If you did not receive your package, or if you received it and something was missing, let me know. I did have one person tell me their package was missing a buffalo nickel, and I found the nickel in the bottom of the bin that I put the envelopes in, so I'll get that straightened back around. Uh, the next thing is, and I hate to go back to this, but I got to. All that busting my butt that I did, getting that response to the divorce papers down to Florida on time. Well, nowhere in that packet did it tell me that I had to pay a $295 filing fee to respond to him. So now I know why he kept my $300, was so I couldn't pay the $295. So now I've got a week to come up with the $295, or they gave me a form to fill out to see if they will declare me indigent for the purposes of the court, so that they don't make me pay the $295. So I was all happy because I thought I was done with all of that paperwork, and now I got to do another one. So hopefully they'll just declare me what I am, which is poor as dirt, and we can move on with this mess. So, next, I still have a bunch of footage from metal detecting trips that I have not made any videos for a while, and some of those go all the way back to Georgia. I'm not gonna scrap that stuff. So I'm gonna continue to release a few more. I think there's like 4 left of what I'm just gonna call the retro relics. They're from 2020. They're not that retro, but they're like, I'm gonna say April, May, June, and July of 2020 that just never got released. And then I've got a few hunts from here. So I'm going to try to start getting some videos back out. We'll see what happens with it, but the main thing right now is that my health is just not cooperating with any of this stuff. If I were a healthy person, it would be working out okay. But anyway, so that's what's happening. That's the condition my condition is in. It may come back that I'm going to have to quickly raise another $300, but I'm going to try filling that paperwork out first. So anyway, that is kind of where we are. If you have not gotten your package from the fundraiser, please let me know. And M3 is still playing with his banana. So anyway, that's everything that's going on. I'm pretty sad when you can cover your whole life in 8.5 minutes. Anyway, I'm not feeling too bad today. So later on, it's supposed to be in the 50s. Hi, Sterling Cannabis. Later on, it's supposed to go up in the 50s, and I may run down to the local park and try and detect a little bit. I went down there a few days ago. I didn't find a whole lot. They just reopened that park a week ago, and I could tell somebody had already been in there and hit it because they didn't fill their holes in. But if I think I can do it, I'm going to try to walk up the hill. They aren't letting you take your cars in the park, but if I think I can make it, I want to walk up the hill and go up by the ballparks and detect up there. I don't know that that's going to happen. Last time I went, I looked and said, I don't know if I want to walk all the way up there. The ballparks are like up on a hill, but there is a road, so maybe I'll I'll try it. I'm trying not to overdo myself. You guys know I get out there with the detector and I just want to keep hunting and keep hunting, and then I go, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. And so, but I might try to get out there for a little bit today. This afternoon, the sun's supposed to be out. Oh, and there is one more thing. I am starting another channel. I hadn't really planned on doing this one, but it may be out of financial necessity that I'm doing it. Some of you know I am a retired professional genealogist, which means I research people's family trees. Um, Back when Ancestry.com was a baby, I worked for them. I helped compile a number of their searchable databases, and I taught an online class for them for a while. Well, because of what is going on in my personal life, I'm now having to go back to doing research for hire. So I have kicked back my original business name back into the loop, and I have started a channel called Rootbound Genealogy with its Susie Q96. Later on, I'll probably just knock it back to Rootbound Genealogy, but I put my name on it, on the end of it, so people would recognize that it is affiliated with me. And I'm going to put some genealogy helpful videos up there, and mostly a lot of photographs and things that I need to preserve somewhere. I know Jesse O is not going to want to look at some of the stuff on here because Jesse does not like cemeteries, and there will be cemetery photographs on that site. So that's another thing, and it's also going to be a place where people can come to find me to get a little, I can do some free help and then I can do some pay help. Michigan Mud Digger, hey, hey, hey. How's the weather up there? Cold in Virginia, but it's supposed to get in the 50s later, so I'm going to go out and play in it. The last I talked to any of my Michigan people, it was warmer. It was warmer in Flint than it is here. Uh, they said it was 36 there. Well, it's only 30 here, so I guess. So yeah, I know we're supposed to get in the 50s this afternoon, and so I'm going to try to go detect a little bit. And then tomorrow in the 60s. Monday is going to be a beautiful day, but I'm going to be in the doctor's office all day. And then starting Tuesday, the whole rest of the week, I'm rained out. So that's when I'm going to work on my channels and make some long overdue detecting videos. Um, Also, there's a penny box battle being discussed over on Ida Herring's She Shop, and it's in April. I'm going to try to get a penny box and be part of that. Oh yeah, that's cool. Out restoring headstones in a t-shirt. You like what's coming up on my new channel then if you were out restoring headstones. There's some of that. I have, I'm going to say, around 2,000 photographs of different headstones. Most of them are in the Midwest. Some are in Michigan, and most are in Illinois and Iowa. That, including some cemetery restoration things. And oh, there's another Michigander. Swing for the ring. I bet you're not out in the lake today, huh, buddy? So anyway, I need to put these photographs where they are benefiting people who, and some of these stones may now be gone. Most of these photos were taken in the 1990s, and some of the stones were pretty bad then. We did what we could with some of them. Um, but like I said, some of them may be gone. So, oh, cool. Swing for the Ring was out in Michigan in the lake. Shipwreck uncovered near Whitehall. Oh, how fun! I would love to do that. I am moving back to Michigan. I don't know when. My goal is September. I do not like it here. My family talked me into this Virginia thing, and I just don't like it. I don't feel like I belong. I went in the music store to get strings for my guitar. The guy in the music store looks at me and says, "You're not from here. Who do you belong to?" Excuse me? Uh, really? Okay. So very quickly, I threw my brother-in-law's family names out there because they've been here for generations. Otherwise, I was starting to hear the banjo music from Deliverance in the background. You know what I mean? So I do not feel comfortable here, and I liked Michigan for the most part. I didn't. I My problem was the extremely high auto insurance prices and the fact that my home flooded and I did not have enough money to fix it. But Michigan is absolutely beautiful. I have some wonderful friends there. There's some outlandishly good music around. So yeah, I'm kind of sold on Michigan, and I work for a band that is from Michigan, and it's really hard for us to. We're having to do everything over the phone and internet, and it's a pain in the butt. And I kind of just want to be there. So what I'm trying to do now is find. I live in subsidized senior low cost housing, and I'm trying to get. If I can get into one of those up there, I can live on the amount of money I have. So there's one that's run by Volunteers of America that's over by Saginaw. I'm kind of looking Saginaw, Bay City, um, near Flint, but not in Flint. I still don't trust the water in Flint. Uh, well, the band I work for uh, are a 60s band. So, yeah, I know those places are full, but the thing about it, Michigan Mud Digger, when you got us old farts, turnover's pretty high, and I'm not saying that to be mean, but people age out of those apartments pretty rapidly, and into assisted living or into a full-blown nursing home. Yeah, Midland would be okay. My main thing is that I need to be within a reasonable driving distance of Clio, and Clio, Mount Morris area, and that's because I have business reasons that I need to be close to those areas. But yeah, as long as no more dams burst, there you go. Uh, But I have a lot of friends in Saginaw, and I know a lot of people thumb their nose at Saginaw, but I have some wonderful friends in Saginaw, and I think the architecture and everything of Saginaw is beautiful. You just got to stay in certain areas, otherwise it's not the safest place in Michigan. But I like it, so I my goal is to be up there, by the end of September. Aren't any more dams to go? Yeah. Uh, I used to have. There's a place called the Bay City Indoor Flea Market, and I used to have a permanent booth in there. And I would drive every day from Flushing. Hey, don't you pick on Saginaw? Don't you sag nasty me? I'll knock you out. Two of my favorite musicians came from the same neighborhood in Saginaw. A lot of people probably don't even realize that there's even a connection between these two artists, but Question Mark and the Mysterians and Stevie Wonder both came from the same part of Saginaw. I I in fact got on Sag Nasty about the pathetic marker. They have a historical marker for Stevie Wonder that it's bad, and I complain every year about it. No, the Bay City Rollers are not from Bay City. They just picked that name off a map. Well, gee, I'm sorry, Michigan Mud Digger, you're missing a lot of fun. No, they are not from Bay City. They are not. Madonna is from Bay City. Most of the Mysterians from Question Mark and the Mysterians are from Bay City. In fact, Question Mark and the Mysterians 96 Tears is the official rock and roll song of Bay City. So how about that one? And you know what band I work for? I work for Question Mark and the Mysterians, the band who have the official rock and roll song of Bay City. Yeah. So there you go. How about that? 96 Tears, which sold 8 million copies back in 1966, was originally released on a little record label where they printed 500 copies, and the band went around and tried to get people to play their record. And it ended up selling 8 million copies. It was recorded in a guy's living room in Bay City. And last year, they finally put a historical marker in front of that house. The people that bought it think it's cool that it belongs in rock and roll history. So they finally put a marker in front of that house. Yeah. Um, Madonna said a lot of really nasty things about Bay City. And at one point, I think they were supposed to be renaming a section of that Veterans Park and, and a bridge for her. And she said some mouthy ass thing, pardon my language. And so that went out the toilet. But back in 20, I'm going to say 2014, 2015, I think it was 2014, uh, the then mayor, Chris Shannon, who is a musician in his own right, by the way, uh, the then mayor of Bay City, Chris Shannon, declared 96 Tears the official rock and roll song of Bay City. And I was there. We had a blast. We had this little thing at a place called the Old Courthouse, and it was supposed to be a private affair, but um, word, of course, got out, and the whole street in front of the place was packed with people, and we're inside the place, and the fire marshal came. And of course, because I'm the band's publicist, I went out there to see what the fire marshal was pissing and moaning about. And he told us we were over occupancy and blah, blah, blah. And we were going to have to shut this down. And I said, well, I don't think you want to do that. I said, do you realize that this is being sponsored by Mayor Shannon? And the guy goes, yeah, right. He was giving me a hard time. So I went back in and I got Mayor Shannon and brought him out. And here's this Bay City fire marshal, like just mortally embarrassed. And so they kind of just let us cram as many people into the building and the street as we could possibly cram in there. And we had an absolute great time. There's a little bit of footage of it online somewhere. But yeah, that's what it was. They offered her the key to the city, but the word she used really wasn't stinky. That's the word they're quoting her as now, but it was the F word. And so anyway, that was the first time I was ever in Bay City. I still lived in Florida at the time, and I had flown up there because I was working with the band, and that was my intro to Bay City. But yeah, I used to have a little booth up there in a flea market, and I would drive from Flushing to Bay City every day up M13. Uh, One of my subscribers, Fleabag, I went right by his house. He lives in Burt. So yeah, I used to drive up M13, and I always wished I had taken an M13 sign with me when I left, but yeah, a few times. Um, M13 was underwater. That road would flood pretty regularly. I'd have to detour around. So, but yeah, I liked that area, and so when I get up there, y'all gonna have to take me metal detecting. But one of my friends has 80 acres that I can detect, but I don't think they would allow anybody else out there just because they're very private people. But I do at least have that. But that, unfortunately, a lot of that area is going to be trashed because they used to do what do you call it? Mud bog out there. They used to have a mud bog out there, so there's probably all kinds of old car parts and crap. uh, so anyway, that's the condition my condition's in, folks. I got so many things on my plate, and if I could just get my health stuff lined up, I went from taking 5 medications to taking 14, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm down to 10. And hopefully some of these are going to be gone soon. And I'd like to get back down to my 3 or 4. But yeah, it's hard when they start putting that much medication in you. Yeah, it's like I'm exhausted or I'm sick to my stomach or yeah. Well, I don't trust them either, but I'd be dead without them. Cannabis. So what am I going to do? I have one that if I do not take this shot, I die. So what am I going to do? Uh, right now, I have an ear infection that is so severe they can't get it to go away. And if we don't get it cleared up, I lose my hearing. So what am I going to do? It's just I don't. Do I like it? Hell no, I don't like it. But uh, if I want to stay alive long enough for him at least to figure out what's wrong with me, then I got to do it. Some of them, there's a couple they gave me. I took them a couple times. They made me feel horrible, and I will not take them again. I said, okay, I'll try it your way. No, I'm not taking that. I mean, I didn't even, back in the 60s, I didn't even want to feel like that. So, oh, and then there is the other thing in Michigan, which is that cannabis is legal there, which it is not here in the state of Virginia. And, well, you can't. For what I have, Sterling, there is no natural path. We already tried that, and I ended up in a wheelchair. So no. Um, I have Michigan. I gotta laugh at you, Michigan mud digger. Not because you have rheumatoid arthritis, but because I can't do anything halfway. I have arthritis. I have three different kinds. I can't get just one. I gotta have the trifecta. I have a very rare form of psoriasis that only about 10 people or 10% of all psoriasis sufferers get. And it goes along with my I have psoriatic arthritis. Then I have osteoarthritis. Now I have rheumatoid arthritis. I also had ulcerative colitis and lost my entire large intestine. I have one injection of a medication called Enbrel that I take once a week. It controls all of those. It is my miracle drug. It is very expensive. Yeah, psoriatic arthritis really sucks. Uh, we tried cannabis when I lived in Michigan. It helped to a degree, but I still ended up in a wheelchair. So it didn't help enough. It helps on short term, but when you have all three of those, it is a crippler. And the only way that cannabis would help that would be to knock my ass out. Yeah, psoriatic arthritis is horrible. And combine it with the other two, it is the reason I go metal detecting, because if I do not keep moving, my joints will seize up and I'll be right back in that wheelchair. And I'm not going there. I'm not going. I'm going kicking and screaming. There is a place in Grand Blanc, Michigan, called the Silverton Skin Institute, and I owe my heart and soul to Dr. Silverton, because had he not just kept at it and at it until they found something that worked for me, I would have been in a wheelchair the last 5 years. So, uh, I have, I don't see a lot of high risk for cancer with Enbrel. There, there are some other similar drugs that seem to be a lot worse. I get screened every 6 months for TB and other things. I do a complete blood work every 6 months. I've never had a problem with Enbrel. I did have a problem with one called Taltz, Taltz. And it did not. It controlled the psoriasis, but it did nothing for the arthritis. So there are risks of cancer with breathing the air. And here's the way I look at this. I'm 68 years old. Something's going to get me at some point, but I'd rather be able to run from it than to be trying to push a wheelchair to get away from it. So, it's a choice I've made, and it's been very good for me. The I cannot take methotrexate or tetracycline. Methotrexate is no. I will. No, 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 no. Say, I have a lot of drug allergies. I can't take tetracycline at all, and methotrexate is the worst medication I ever took in my life. I actually became. I had a suicidal episode. I became so hyper and then manic, and then I broke out in hives. So I'm allergic to methotrexate, and then there's another one that goes along with it, soriatane. I can't take either one of those. Tetracycline is not a good long-term drug. Um, uh, and truthfully, Enbrel, you're not take like I'm assuming you're taking methotrexate about every day. I take Enbrel once a week. One little shot once a week. Now tetracycline's nasty. Do not take tetracycline, and it will ruin your teeth too. By the way, uh, I did not intend to be on here for this long, nor did I intend for this to be a medical show. And I am not a doctor. I'm just telling you my personal experiences. Being 68 years old, um, I've had zero problems with the Enbrel. Uh, that methotrexate was the worst medication I ever took in my life. I I can't even begin to describe the experience. I was on the phone with my friend Tommy, who passed away a couple of years ago, and I was living in Flushing, Michigan then. And I was on the phone with him, and I told him, I said, yeah, they gave me this new medication, and blah blah blah. And I was talking to him, and I wasn't. He said I wasn't making any sense, and then I looked down, and my arms were broken out with hives, and my airway started closing up. I had a terrible reaction to methotrexate. And I also can't take NSAIDs, which wipes 80% of all anti-inflammatories and pain meds off the list. So I have a very unusual blood type. Uh, that less than 4% of the world have. One of my doctors calls me her alien. Um, I have, I am A negative, but then I have another little thing under that. It's a subgen called anti-kel. And I think they said 8% of the world, only 8% of the world have it. If I go into the hospital and I need a transfusion, I can't even have regular A negative blood. It's yeah, I'm not normal in a lot of ways, but I mean my body's not even normal. Like I said, one of my doctors calls me her little alien because I have so many strange things. Uh, I have golden blood. Yep, I sure do. I'm the queen of sick. But I after in Virginia for a while, I really it's been about 3 years, 3.5 years now since I lived in Michigan. And when I lived in Michigan, I didn't think my that some of my medical care was that great. But now that I have been in Georgia and Virginia, oh honey, I am so ready to go back to Michigan. I have learned to appreciate some of the better health care that I did have when I was up there. And that was particularly in the areas of my spinal problems and my psoriasis, uh, and psoriatic arthritis. Uh, I've come to appreciate Michigan a lot more than I did when I lived there before, and I really, 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 really want to go back. So that that was the original goal when I moved here, was to slowly be able to weed through my stuff, make some money to put away to move back up there, but I was not counting on getting slapped with a divorce out of the blue, for which I found out this morning. I got to send the court 298, is it 295, 298? What does this letter say? It didn't say anything about it on the paperwork, but then I got the letter that says we received the answer and counter petition you filed on case number blah, blah, blah. The filing fee for a counter petition is $295. We have added the assessment for this fee to your case. Please submit payment for this fee or you can apply for indigent status. The application can be found at blah, blah, blah. So I have now got to file a piece of paper to the court to tell them that I'm too poor to pay the court. And if they don't accept that, then I got to pay them $295. Now, I did put in my counter petition that I felt that since he's the one that wanted to get the divorce after all this time, that he should be the one to pay for the court costs. So, but anyway, if they don't accept that I am poor, then I've got to come up with another $295. And every time I do that stuff, it takes away from any chance of me getting moved back to Michigan, and I don't like that. But anyway, yeah, well, that's why I'm going back, Werner, to doing the genealogy. I did pick up one of my old clients again, and, and I've done some research for him. But I am going to put my new genealogy channel online and see if I can pick up a few more research jobs. Uh, so there you go. Uh, I'm hoping to do something. I'm sure not getting rich off metal detecting, that's for sure. Although I'm going to give you guys a sneak preview since you did come in. I found a ring the other day, metal detecting. It is not, as far as I can tell, a precious metal ring, but it's a pretty cool ring. It's from the 1934 Chicago World's Fair. So that was kind of a neat find. I haven't really cleaned it up yet, and it's kind of bent. I have a tool for making rings. I'm gonna find my tool and put this ring on it and see if I can't get it a little better rounded out before it shows up in a video. But it's pretty cool. It's 1833 to 1933 Chicago progress ring. Werner, I made my living for many years doing genealogical research. I worked for Ancestry. Um, I had one client that I had for over 20 years. He paid for my house, basically. Yeah, I made right now because I don't have my certification anymore. all certification is they give you a test to make sure you know how to read the records, and they take $150, which is probably 400 now, and put your name on a list that you passed, because I wasn't going to keep paying that membership fee when I was no longer working in the field. Um, Certified genealogists make between $50 and $75 an hour. Um, I don't charge that. I charge $25 an hour or 30. If it's a long time customer, I will sell them a block for a certain amount of time, for a flat rate instead of an hourly. And I do have like 3 or 4 long term customers that every couple of years they pop back up with a new question or two. Um, well, Michigan Mud Digger, I am the queen of breaking down the brick walls. So if you and your friend get stuck, there's a nice lady down here that needs to earn some money, and I'm offering specials to my people on my channel. I'm doing $20 an hour right now, which is way cheaper than the people with the certifications charge. I have 27 years of experience, and I have references. So uh, if you need to hire somebody, let me know. Um, I actually started way back. Of course, there wasn't even internet when I started. But the reason that I started was I had all these weird health issues. Even, back in the 80s, I had some strange health things going on. And you go to the doctor, and they say, is there any history of blah, blah, blah in your family? And they, on your mother's side, on your father's side. Well, my mother's side, I knew them. I knew most of my aunts and uncles and my grandparents and everything. I knew my mom's history. My dad, I never knew my grandparents on my father's side. They died before I was born. I knew very little about them or about their family. And so when my genealogy thing first started, it was a health thing. I needed to know if all of these odd things that were happening to me health wise had any connection to being inherited or passed down in some way. And it turned out that most of them, in fact, did come down to me through my paternal family. So that was how I got started. But then I just started finding some really interesting and bizarre things on both sides of my family. And there's one of the things I want to do. I want to go back to Illinois. Uh, the house that my great great no yeah my great grandfather, his house is still there, and I want to see if the people that live in it now, who are distantly related, will let me metal detect it. All right, Michigan Med, we'll see ya. So yeah, there's every place I go, somebody's got the story that there's a pouch of money or there's mason jars or something buried full of money. I have a permission in May. Um, yeah, see, Werner, that's my whole thing. All my autoimmune issues are all from my dad's side of the family. I know that now, but when I first started, I did not have a clue. I couldn't have even named all my aunts and uncles on my dad's side. I didn't know much of anything about that family, except that once a year we would go to the family reunion, and so I knew some of them. But like I said, my grandparents on that side I never knew. Um, it's clear from going back into church records that my great grandfather had what I believe now would be known as bipolar disorder. Uh, one minute he would be an upstanding member of the church. When the next day he would be chasing somebody down the middle of the street in Kewanee, Illinois, calling them a skunk and a son of a bitch. He was very erratic, and the church had to deal with him because he was a teacher at the church and his son was a priest. And so I discovered a lot of strange things in my dad's family and some equally unusual things in my mother's lines, which uh, I'm still working on. Uh, my mom's mostly German, a little bit of Dutch, but my mom's whole maternal line, they are definitely German. They're from Baumholder and places around there. Uh, I'm gonna have to invest in getting my databases back for the uh, world research again. Uh, trying to tidy up some stuff. But well, thank you, James Dollar. Handy Andy's in and out. You know, that's my brother, and he lives in a different time zone than me, and he keeps some he keeps some hours. He's younger, and I can't keep up with him. That's my boy, but I just can't keep up with him. My last name is not German at all. My last name is so English it's not even funny. But if you look at the names in my mom's family, you have the Roushes and the Grimms and the Bries and the Metzes and a lot of Spieth. In fact, there's a professional golfer. He's kind of faded now a little bit, but he was big a few years ago, named Jordan Spieth. He is a cousin of mine. Uh, but yeah, mostly my mom's side is mostly German, except one line, and they changed their name when they came to the United States in the 1600s. They changed their last name to Titus, but their real surname was actually De Vries. So I'm, but on my dad's side, it is English, 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 English. As far back as I've been able to take them, it's English. I can't even find any Irish sneaking in there. Just English. Uh, but and then I also have another line that's German, and the name doesn't sound really particularly German, but they are German. Is the Gideon family. So I got a lot of Germans, or as my niece called them, germs, or called germs Germans. She would say when you were sick, stay away from her. She didn't want your Germans. She meant germs. Oh well, I've been on here babbling for an hour now, and I need to go do some genealogy. I got a paying customer that I just found something really exciting for. He's very happy. I answered a question that's been floating around in his family for longer than 50 years last night. So with documentation, that's the whole thing. People will say, well, I'm this or I'm that, or this happened or that happened, but I actually have found the documents for him in regards to something that happened in his wife's family. And it was just one little paragraph in an old newspaper, but yeah, that's my big problem, Warner. Um, the especially with the part of Germany that my Metz family, the borders changed so many times because of war, that part of the times they were considered to be in France, part of the time they were considered to be in Germany. Then a lot of things got burned and bombed, and I am just absolutely stuck because the records just aren't there anymore. And once in a while, someone will find something new, in a basement or an old cabin or something, find a Bible or something skinnied away that will help a family or two. But a lot of church records are gone. Uh, they have been working on trying to preserve whatever ones are left, though. Archaeology Mikey, I don't know why Scratch and Go Crazy could not post, but I checked and he was not blocked or anything. Someone might have accidentally timed him out, but he was in the last time I was on and posted some googly eyes, so he can post as far as I know. Uh, yeah, a lot. It's made doing my mom's family really hard, Werner, because um, of just what you said. And one of the things I do know about her Metz family is that they used to travel back and forth. They were one of the first families in the United States to bring in Percheron horses. And so Mr. Metz would go, he would actually go to Nancy, which is in France now, but I think it was in Germany and back and forth. He would go through there, and then he would go and get really, have well bred Percheron horses and bring them back to the United States. A lot of people don't know what Percherons are. They're kind of like Clydesdales, only I think they're better. Uh, but yeah, my family imported and bred Percheron horses that they brought in from Germany to work out in the Midwest on the farms. And there are horses still in this country to this day that have bloodlines that go back to the horses that they brought in. So, well, I don't know, Mikey. Sometimes you can accidentally put somebody in timeout, not mean to. And I think maybe that's what happened was he accidentally might have got put in timeout or something. But as far as I know, everything's fine. He can. There's no reason he can't post. If he tells me that it's still messed up, then I'll have to probably tell him to do what I had to do one time, which was I had a channel I couldn't post in, and there was no reason, so I just unsubscribed to it, and then I resubscribed to it the next day, and it cleared it up. So don't know, but anyway, I do have to go do some genealogy. Now that I got this guy's big fact, I just need to do his report and send it off. And about 3 o'clock, I'm going to try and go out for a little while. It's supposed to be in the 50s. And I'm going to try and run up to this little local park that's finally opened back up. Um, it was closed since last March, and they just opened it uh, last week. And I've been down there detecting a couple times. It's a huge park. The first time I went, there were just way too many people there, and I wasn't comfortable, so I didn't stay very long. The second time, you know, somebody else had already been there, hadn't filled their holes, and that made me a little angry. I didn't find a whole lot then either, but I'm going to try another section of the park today that I think everybody's been hitting up by the the playground and stuff, and I'm going to go see if I can get up by the ballparks and look up there. So anyway, I'm going to run get this guy's work done. I'm hoping that this paper I fill out for the courts will uh, get me out of having to pay the $295 because I really can't afford that right now. This genealogy work is helping me keep my regular bills paid since I lost $300 a month. That's, I don't know how many of you could live on $800 American, but that's what I'm having to live on right now, unless I make this little extra money here and there. Uh, I gotta make a video here of I got a little contest I'm gonna do with all of the change that I found last year metal detecting. I gotta count that up, and then we're gonna have a contest, see who can guess the closest to how much I found, and then I can cash that change in. Because I don't cash in my change over the course of the year. My detecting change, I just throw it in container and save it till the end. So it's sitting over there in line for me to take care of. So that's something else I got to do this week. And I have a doctor's appointment Monday, a doctor's appointment Tuesday, 2 medical assessments on Wednesday, nothing on Thursday, and a thyroid doctor appointment on Friday. So they're slamming me with the doctors. And somewhere in there, I think Tuesday, I also have to go get blood work done. So uh, it's hard for me to do all this stuff with all this medical stuff going on. So, like I said, I'm probably not gonna try to do my show Monday because it'll be too late by the time I get home from that 100+ mile trip. So I'm saying Wednesday nights probably when I will be back on. Oh, so on that note, I'm gonna go finish this deal up, see if I can round up some more paying genealogy jobs, and then take a break from all of the stress and go do a little detecting somewhere. I may change my mind and go to another local park where I know people have been stomping around all week. But where we're going. Like button yet, please do so. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so. This is not how my channel normally runs. It's just been this way because of illness. I'm going to try to get everything back on track here in the next month or two. I do have some metal detecting things to give away. I've got some other stuff to give away. Mikey has donated a real nice little scale. Yeah, it's going forward. It's just it's hard when they do it every day. I have one. You know, it wears me down because some of these appointments I have to drive. One of them round trip is like 150 miles. Um, it's tiring. Now, one of the ones this week is a virtual appointment on the phone, on the internet thing. So that's not so bad. I don't have to drive all the way up there for that one, but it is really exhausting me. And then I have some medical procedures coming up. Well, actually, I have to go in the hospital for in April. Just some tests, but So it's going forward, but um, they need to be spaced out a little better where I don't have one every single day. And my insurance company is supposed to be getting me what's called a care coordinator. And that's going to be part of her job, is to make sure that they don't have me every single day running to the point of exhaustion. Um, yeah, that's another reason I need to go back to where I was in Michigan. The medical care here, it's too far away and not enough specialized care. There's a lot of primary care doctors, but there's the specialists that I need. I'm having to travel too far, and I didn't have that when I was in Michigan. I could get a lot. I had a lot more access to good medical care, so uh, that's probably what's going to happen. Hi ho, Silver. We were just leaving, but welcome anyway. Uh, you can go back and watch me ramble for an hour. All right, well, now we've just had a show about a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm going to go do some work, and then I'm going to go do some play. First, I'm going to go do some food. So, everybody have a good day. Werner, if you could, you've got my email. Shoot me your address, because you have a package here that I've got to ship and I don't have your address. So if you could do that, that would be a dandy thing. And oh, goodness, maybe I should finish my coffee too. Alrighty. Well, I'll see everybody later. Like I said, if you're not subscribed, please do. If you are subscribed, please hit the like button, and we will catch up with y'all later. I'm going to try to, like I said, get some more detecting videos done this week. We're supposed to have a bunch of rain towards the end of the week, so I won't be able to go outside and play. So maybe Thursday I can work on some videos. We will see y'all later. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.